How much of a language do you think you could learn in a week? Being the Portuguese godfather, I'm a pretty cultured individual. That's why I love to learn languages. Parlo italiano, je parle français, falo português, e também hablo español. But today, I'm starting to learn a new language, Romanian. Now you might ask, why would you want to learn such an obscure language? Well, Romanian, believe it or not, is a Romance language. So, let's see how far I can get in a week. Learning a language can be pretty easy, but also very stressful. But I've never tried to do so in a week, so comment down below how you think I'll do. This is Nathaniel Drew. He's a self-improvement YouTuber who also makes content revolving around learning languages from time to time. He offered some valuable insight in this video about learning Italian in a week that anyone who wants to learn a language can benefit from.
There are a little over 170,000 words in the English language in current use today. However, only 1,000 to 3,000 words make up the majority of daily English use. So that's only a tiny percentage of the entire vocabulary. This is a really big deal, okay? It makes a lot more sense to use words that are part of that 1,000 to 3,000 than it is to learn words like telephone pole or reclining chair. Because think about it, there's a huge difference in the amount of usage, the amount of mileage that I can get from a useful word like something versus a specific one-use word like cherry.
I mean, come on, that's fucking genius. So I googled the 1,000 most common words in Romanian and got to work writing them down. By writing out the 1,000 most common words, now I'm starting to understand what I'm gonna see very often. So when I listen and when I watch, with subtitles, a video in Romanian, now I'll start to understand where to place these words and specifically how to pronounce them. Because a lot of these words, they have certain accent marks that I don't understand, but over time, as I watch and as I listen, they'll obviously become more clear. After writing out about 50 words, I met my Romanian buddy at the gym. I'm here with my guy, Bogdan.
Nice to meet you.
And he's actually from Romania.
Yep.
Where are you from in Romania?
It's the northern part of the country. It's a place called Transylvania. People might know it from Dracula.
So what tips would you have for someone who's trying to learn Romanian? Any certain accents you would keep in mind? Like the hat over the top is like
Yeah.
And like the
Absolutely.
the scoop.
Absolutely. The scoop-de-doos and the commas underneath the T and the whatnot. Yeah, I would say definitely for a foreigner, that would be the most difficult part of Romanian, especially as a non-Romance native speaker. You're definitely going to have the advantage over other people that don't have that experience, don't have the fluency in other Romance languages, because most of it is Latin. A lot of it, that's all they have in common, Latin, Yeah, I think you're going to have a great time. I think you're very open to learning new systems, new languages, and I think you have a really good chance of being fluent.
Any greetings you could teach me real quick, like a how are you, just to get me started?
The most common one, informal, like you would greet your friends, would be salut, ce faci?
Ce faci?
Yeah.
Well, I'll take that. Bogdan, at the end of this week or like next Monday, I'm going to come back and we'll see how much progress I've made and if him and I can have a full conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, my man. The next night, I got to work learning some of the most common phrases in Romanian.
Bună ziua!
Bună ziua! Bună ziua! Bună ziua!
So apparently, I chose the worst week to possibly film this video, because it's the only week out of the year where I'm actually busy. So I haven't had much time to really dedicate to this. But tonight, I have another hour and a half or so before I gotta get to bed. So I'm gonna finish up with the 1,000 words, write them all out. And tonight I'm going to be working on things like, how are you? What's your name? Verbs as well. Just starting to get into the nitty-gritty of what the language actually comprises of and just start listening to it and start absorbing it in my head. So I went back to writing and, following the advice of Nathaniel Drew, read back what I had written before starting to learn some new phrases. El, he, a fost, was.
Ce faci?
Ce faci? Ce faci?
Bine, mulțumesc. Bine, mulțumesc.
Bine, mulțumesc. Bine, mulțumesc. So I got up to about 300 words writing. I started reading them back a little bit, and then I went on to easy Romanian conversations. I literally typed in Romanian conversation for beginners, and I found a video, and I've been learning things like, hi, how are you? I'm sorry, things like that. So slowly but surely, just understanding the way that the language sounds. I'm not really gaining any word knowledge yet. Slowly but surely I am, but not as much as I will over the next couple days when I actually start to study the grammar of everything and how you conjugate verbs and all that good stuff. Day 6, throughout the whole week I've been working, but during work I've been listening to this podcast. It's a Romanian beginners podcast, and it's called Podcastul de Limba Română. I've been listening to it throughout the week, and I've gotten a pretty good understanding now of how the language sounds, and common phrases, I guess. It's just chatter. I'm not trying to understand it, I'm just trying to listen to it and get the feel for how everything sounds. So I've been doing that the whole week, and tonight I'm gonna really hone in on the verbs, get the conjugations, write them down, write them out, so that I can start to form some complete sentences instead of just simple phrases like how are you. So that's the goal for tonight, seeing which conjugation goes with which pronoun and how to structure them in a sentence. Now, the reason I'm putting such an emphasis on verbs is because we need verbs to form every single sentence that we ever produce out of our mouths. I am going to the store. I am running to my car. I am good. So if you're trying to be conversational in a new language in a very short time frame, learning verbs and really honing in on them is probably one of the most important things you can do. So I googled the most common Romanian verbs and got to work writing them out with their respective conjugations. Tonight's the big night. It's my first time talking Romanian with Bogdan. I'm doing some review right now, just getting everything dialed in and getting ready for one big conversation. And now, the moment of truth.
Bună seara, sunt aici, cum vorbești with?
Can you repeat that?
How do you say with?
Cool.
Cu, ok, so cum
Cu Bogdan.
sunt cu Bogdan. Noi suntem în
Sală.
sală, ok. Și eu vorbești română. Eu vorbesc română cu Bogdan. Cum ești?
Foarte bine, tu cum ești?
Foarte bine. Crezi, da? Tu crezi? Ce faci sport suficient?
Cred că da. Încerc din răsputeri să fiu cât mai bun. Tu cum ești?
Da. Eu vreau. Da. Eu vreau a fi mult bine în jiu-jitsu și kickboxing și MMA.
Okay.
Eu vreau a fi the best.
Cel mai bun.
Cel mai bun. Nu eu vreau a fi profesional.
Ok. Profesional.
Da.
De ce nu?
De aceea? Because? Pentru că eu vreau simți.
I want to what?
Feel. Vreau să simt bine.
I want to feel good, okay. Vreau să simt bine.
Dar cum vorbești life?
What do you mean by that?
How do you say life?
Viață.
Cum vorbești is like how do you say, right?
Yes. Cum spui?
Cum spui?
Yeah.
Okay. Cum spui life? Viața. Viață.
Yes. Perfect.
Da. Ok. Da. Eu vreau cum spui to live.
A trăi. Eu vreau să trăiesc.
Să trăiesc mult mare.
Great. Big. Mult. Long.
Da.
Eu vreau să trăiesc mult și bine.
Mult și bine?
Yeah.
Și bine. Da. Ok.
Eu vreau să trăiesc mult și bine. That's like a really traditional, standard saying in Romanian. You want to live long and well.
Da.
You're gonna need it a lot, I think.
Okay.
I think he did that unintentionally, which is really nice. You didn't know that was a...
Nah.
That's good.
No, I'm just trying to like muster every last thing that I could think of, but like, you know,
Yeah.
obviously given the fucked up week that I had, I didn't get to learn too
man.
much, but
Don't make excuses. Like, even if you dedicated like every day, like a lot of hours into it, like, you're fucking great for a week.
mulțumesc.
Cu plăcere. I just think that you put a lot of Italian into it, and I know you don't do it intentionally. I just want you to be aware of it, because just like we talked before, like, Italian is going to be a beneficial tool for you, but also it can fuck up a little bit of your pronunciation. The fluency of Italian is going to help you. If you step into a foreign language like that, you're going to have boundaries no matter what. But like, at the same time, you know, someone that doesn't know Italian, only knows English for example, is not going to have the toolkit of vocabulary at their disposal. But like, really good job. Like, I really,
Thank you.
No, I'm serious. Like, it was really good.
Wasn't enough for a conversation though, and that was the goal, was to have a full conversation.
I mean, it depends. Honestly, I feel like you can go buy a loaf of bread and make really small chat.
Eu vreau comprar
Pâine.
pâine? Pâine? Okay. Pâine. Okay.
See, this is really easy. Like, I think it can function in the Romanian society.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, your name, how are you doing, how to buy stuff. Yeah, you're just gonna knock some numbers out, and I'm telling you, you can, yeah, like, to tell the time and like find out how much it is.
So overall, what would you say I had down best after, you know, only spending maybe an hour a night learning?
Right now, I'm really impressed by the ooze, the tu, and the shu. Obviously, there's a lot to uncover and to perfect, but trust me, like, I don't get them all the time, like, to the knot. Like, even in English, sometimes we fuck up grammar, sometimes we fuck up pronunciation, even so slightly.
Yeah.
So don't give yourself a hard time. You're fucking trying really hard. As a Romanian, as a native Romanian, coming here to New York, I'm really impressed, and I really appreciate you dedicating, like, even if it's 1 hour a week, even if it's 2 hours in a month, per month. I'm like so glad that someone is so interested in the culture and the language. So I would say your dedication is what impresses me the most in your speaking. I really appreciate that. Yeah, man, it's really great hearing someone else speaking Romanian here. Honestly.
Bine, mulțumesc, Bogdan.
Yo, it's Muslims. I thank you.
Ah,
For sure.
it's cu plăcere?
Cu plăcere.
Cu plăcere, cu plăcere.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, mulțumesc.
After having this conversation, I immediately felt that it was a failure. But looking back on the video, I actually think I did a pretty good job, all things considered. And if you think this is the end of my journey with Romanian, you're sorely mistaken. Here in my hand is a package containing a Romanian practice book. I guess we'll see how far I can get with another 4 weeks of study. Comment below how you think I did and how you think I'll do after a full month of learning Romanian. See you all next time.